Today we have a very special day. We have a video regarding the XIAOGEN firmware version 2.0.4. This is my previous video and explain how to do the whole process. But after a few weeks, I noticed in the comments that people wanted to know more in depth the settings that you need to use for this firmware. So that's why I'm doing this video. We are going through all the settings one by one, and I will explain what the settings are doing and what are my recommendations. This firmware is so powerful and so customizable that you can do whatever you want. So my settings are not the only ones that you can use. You can experimenting with the firmware, with the settings, and create your own. Also in this video, I want to tell you that I'm starting a collaboration with the Xiaomi developers. And I have to say that they are working hard in the next release, the 2.0.5. This new version will have more than 150 new features and different languages like Spanish and Italian. So I hope you don't want to miss that. Just probably it's a good moment to subscribe and hit the bell so you will get notification for my next video. Also, I have a very big surprise that I will tell you at the end of the video. In this video, I want to tell you that as we know, there are several ways to flash firmware in our scooter. With this XIAOGEN, we have more control and we have more settings and we have more power. And also, this firmware protects our scooter much better than others. In particular, the Rabbit software, Conejo software, which is called, is a paid firmware. You need to pay it in order to get this. You know, these guys are finished. They are done. With XIAOGEN, we want to give to you the best that you can get for your scooter for free. Rabbit firmware is completely dead. They were doing business and earning a lot of money, and I think that it's only fair that the developers of XIAOGEN and myself give you all the tools for free to have the best scooter possible. So without further ado, let's go and see how this 2.0.4 version works. Well, the first thing we need to do is go to this website, as we did in the previous video. I will leave the link in the comments below. And once you're here, first you will see that the website is in English or Russian. Soon, with the new version, you will have more languages available, like Spanish or Italian. So in this case, we use English, of course, and we have here this message. It's very important because I noticed in the comments from my previous video that some people were struggling where to find the app that we need to flash this firmware. So as it's saying here, we need to use the special app, and you can access to that app from here. If you click here, you will get the APK file and you can install in your phone. So let's go to the first section here, which is the main one, the serial number. Again, I noticed in the comments that a lot of people had issues with this. They didn't use the proper serial number, so they couldn't flash the firmware properly. So it's very important that you introduce your actual serial number. You can see the serial number in the box or in any app that we use for our scooter, like M365 Tools or M365 Dashboard. Even in the Xiaomi app, you can access to this information. So very important, the serial number. And if you don't put any, you will get an error and you won't be able to create the firmware. Also, we have here these buttons, default, face LTDD, load, download. Well, basically, this one, face LTD, is the base firmware that the developer provide to us, and I consider that it's a very good one and it's a very good base. It's giving us all the necessary settings that we need, and I think that you should choose this one to start. Also, once you have your own customization, you can download it and you will get a TXT file with all your settings. So in the future, you can just go here to load that TXT file and you will have all your settings again which is very, very handy. So in this case, we use the phase LTD1, and you see that here we have the alternative throttle control algorithm. And you have the instant change and the smooth change. Instant change will provide all the power from the very start, and the smooth will be progress power. So I like and I advise to use this one. For me, it's much better, but if you want the whole power from the very beginning, you just go for the instant. And here there's a lot of confusion as well on which one you should choose. Well, if you want to have the Russian throttle, you need to use the power control options. Power control will give you the Russian throttle. And this one is the only one that won't give you the Russian throttle. This is the speed control and speed cruise. If you choose this one, you will be able to limit the speed for each mode. Okay? So you will have the ability to set up a speed for each mode. But you also can do that using the Russian throttle. For example, if I use the quadratic power control at S, which is a sport mode, and then speed control for D and Eco. What that means? That means that I will have the Russian throttle for the sport mode, and for the drive and Eco mode, I will have the ability to set up a specific speed limitations. This is something that a lot of people were asking in the previous video. So that's how you do it. And then there are confusion also between line power and quadratic power. Basically, it's like I explained before, how you want the scooter to give you the power. For me, quadratic is better because it will be in a progressive way, and line will be a more aggressive setup. As I always say, you can try all the different settings and see which one suits you better. In this case, I will choose this one, and I will show you how to set up the speed limits for the drive mode and the Eco mode. So let's keep going here, and we have the motor start speed. Basically, what this means is the scooter will start at a certain speed, in this case 3 kilometers per hour. If you put 0, that means that as soon as you press the throttle, the scooter will start running. No impulse is needed. So in my case, I like 3, 4. I will leave 4 there. And the cruise control delay. This basically means how long you need to press the throttle in the same position to record the cruise control speed. Normally I like something around 4 or 5 seconds. Otherwise, if you put, let's say, 1 second, every time that you have the throttle in the same position for 1 second, the scooter will record cruise control speed, which can be a little bit annoying. So that's why I'm going for 5 seconds. And then we have here another big question in the comments from my previous video, which is how the cruise control works. Well, the cruise control for this firmware is just amazing. I love it. How is that? Here, if you enable this option here, you will have single tap and double tap. I will always choose double tap, which means that every time that you double tap the throttle, the scooter will go to the cruise speed automatically. If you were pressing the throttle for 5 seconds and you record the cruise control at 20 kilometers per hour, you brake, you only need to double tap the throttle and you will go back to the 20 kilometers per hour automatically, which is very cool. And then you have here another option that for me is super interesting, enable from the speed. So this means that you can set up from which speed you want to be able to activate the control cruise. Let's say 1 kilometer per hour. After I start the scooter and I go over 1 kilometer per hour, if I double tap the throttle, I will be able to get the cruise control at the speed that I set up here. Let's say 20 kilometers per hour. With this setup, if I start the scooter and I double tap the throttle, the scooter automatically will go to 20 kilometers per hour. I don't need to go previously to 20 kilometers per hour, keep pressing the throttle for 5 seconds, record at the speed. No, you just can double tap and will go straight to that speed, which is awesome. And here, the other values is how the responsive the double tap is. I will highly recommend to leave it like that because it works perfectly fine. Anyway, you can try different values. You are free to do so. Here, this option, intensity of the current change when you send the throttle lever. you basically have a turbo mode here. You can set up how much energy you want to get when you press the throttle while you are in the cruise mode. If you put a smaller value, will be less power at that moment. If you put a higher value, you will get more power. I recommend to use the default values that the developer set up here if you want to use it. And if you want to put more, it's under your own responsibility, of course, as everything that we do here. Let's go to the next one, the brake. This basically, by default, they are very good parameters. This is how the brake lever react. You want the brake lever to react sooner or later, or you need to press harder or not, you can set up here. And as well, the current that you are getting when you are braking. You can try different values. If you want, when you brake, to get more energy, to brake harder, you can increase the values. But this can be dangerous if you go too high. If you are in a downhill and you go very fast and you brake so strong, if you have a very high values, you could run into issues. So I will recommend to leave it like the developer setup here, unless you know what you are doing. Also, as before, we can intensify the current in a specific way. You could enable this and you will see 600. So basically, you will have 600 milliamperes more when you use the brake lever. You can change the values. Also, a smaller value will give less energy, higher value will give more. You can play around with that if you want. And then one of my favorite parts, that is the Kers. Well, in this case, I don't like the Kers, but you will see in a moment why I said that. For me, if you want to use the Kers, you can enable here, no problem, and you can set up the speed at when you want the Kers to start. I leave it for the moment off. And then we have the anti-clonk after free ride. This basically, when you are in a free ride without the Kers, the scooter will ride free with any problem. Before, with other firmwares, as soon as you press the throttle, you have strong reaction. It's not comfortable at all, but this anti-clonk will solve this problem. Which basically is doing, when it's enabled, is giving a bit of energy while you are free riding. So when you press the throttle again, there is no much difference in the energy transmission. So will be a smoother result. I will strongly advise to use this feature here. And then we have here the turn off Kers braking during free ride. Well, basically this means that you get the free ride, and also when you brake, you will get the Kers working as well. So you have the best of both worlds. And this is something that we couldn't do before with other firmwares, which is amazing. Anyway, if you for some reason want to use the Kers, you can always enable it here. And these are basically how strong you want the Kers, like in the app. You can set up smooth, strong, medium, whatever you want. And also even you can set up the Kers for each mode independently. As I said, my recommendation is these two options for me are the best. Let's go to the limits. This is very important. Again, I saw some confusion because people were trying to set up a maximum speed for each mode, but didn't work. Was always going to the maximum speed. That's why I explained before the difference between the power control or the speed control. So you use the speed control, you will be able to set up here a specific speed limit for each mode. If you use the power control for the sport mode and the speed control for the other two modes, you will be able to set up a speed limit for each mode individually. Okay? I didn't mention in my previous video, which is the alternative speed limit. This means if I have the light on, I can set up a specific speed. Let's say that I will have 25 kilometers per hour in sport, 20 for drive mode, and 15 for eco. Also, just be aware that you can use the power control for this. You need the speed control, okay? And this is very handy for two reasons. For security reasons, let's say that if you have the light on, this might be night, so you have less speed, will be safer for you. Or maybe in some countries you have a speed limitation. So let's say that if you see the police, you can switch on the light and you will have a limitation of 25 kilometers per hour in your scooter. Well, I think that could be handy. Let's move on to the next part here. We have the current limit for the S mode depending on temperature and voltage. So this is the maximum current that you will allow your scooter. I will always offer safe values in my videos, but this is just your personal taste. You can go higher if you want. I won't recommend it, especially if you have extra batteries. This is for the sport mode. You can do the same for the drive and eco modes, but these values you need to set up properly too. The current value for the S mode. In this case, I would use 25, 27, whatever you want. You can see here you get automatically the watts that your scooter will give you. I will go here for 22 in drive mode and 15 for the eco mode because I use that mode for saving battery. So I have a maximum of 27, but in the real use I will have 25 for sport mode, 22 for drive mode, and 15 for eco mode. Those are my settings. You can use your own settings. As I always say, try, see how that works for you, and you can always come back and create a new firmware, which takes literally 2 minutes. But this is more than enough, and I'm quite heavy. So I don't have any problem with my Pro using those values. You have the regular M365, be aware that your engine is smaller and you need to keep these values lower, maybe around 20,000. And we are going to see here a very, very interesting option, which is warnings for lower battery temperature and higher battery temperature. If we enable this, if the battery is less than 6 degrees, you will get an error in the display and the scooter will stop. The same for higher battery. If we go over 50 degrees, you will get an error and the scooter will stop. You can set up different values if you want. And what you have to do if this happens. Let's say that it's summer, you live in a very hot country and you reach 50 degrees and you had this enabled. Okay, you will get an error and you will switch off your scooter. As soon as you switch on your scooter and it's under 50, you are ready to go. Also, you have here the lower battery voltage limit. This is for your battery protection. If the cells of your battery goes below 34, you have this enabled, as also you will have an error and the scooter will stop. This firmware is all about protecting your scooter and give you the best performance possible. This is the best firmware that you will get. You have here a little bit more options. Okay, you can allow to set the cruise at the high power. You can skip cruise at the maximum throttle. You can start in eco mode, which means that if you enable this, the scooter will start in eco mode. And also you can set up this if you want to disable the drive and sport mode when you start the scooter. Maybe you have a little kid and you don't want the kid to use the drive and sport mode, only the eco, you can use this option. Let's go to the next one, which is power. This is for people who are actually using external batteries. I won't go in deep here. If you have any doubt, any question regarding this, regarding the external batteries, leave a comment below or join our Telegram group where we will be more than happy to help you. You can set up here the voltage. This is for the parallel batteries, the BMS emulators, and so on. Let's go now to the indication. There are a few very interesting things here, and let's go through all of them. First of all, the beeps. You can set up and customize your scooter according with your personal taste. For the cruise control beep, you can even change the beep for each mode, so you don't need to look to the screen. With the beep, you will know in which mode you are, which is pretty handy, to be honest. And then you can have different beeps when you are charging your scooter also. When you connect the charging, when disconnect, can even add a beep at the end of the charging, which is very handy. You can change the backlight flashing frequency. This is another question I get very often before, that was the flashing light while you are in free ride. With this firmware, we solve this problem. Just enable this option. You can even add a beep when you are using the brake, whatever you want. Even here, this is quite handy, honestly. A double long signal beep when you reach a specifically charge. I would say that I want to charge to 75%. So when I'm charging and I get the 75%, I will get the signal, and I know that I can take my scooter and go. Also, this is very interesting, is the full battery predicted distance. If you know that you make 25 kilometers in spawn mode, you can set up here that distance, wherever you do. In a moment I will show you how to get this information in the screen. So let's jump ahead a little bit here, and you will see this here, this information here. Swap speed and charge output on the display. If you enable that and you have this enabled, which means only when stop. When you stop, you will have in your screen the percentage of the battery left. Also, you can enable this only in the selected mode. And let's say that in eco mode, if I enable swap, I will have, instead of the speedometer, I will have my battery. So you will be riding in eco mode and you will have how much you have left. Also, here you can have even more information in your display. You can set up 12 seconds. You can just change this and say like every 10 seconds, you will get this kind of information. You can get the remaining distance, which basically is what I explained you before here. We'll take these values in consideration and we'll let you know how many kilometers you have left. You can choose the current or any other value. For me, maybe battery temperature or controller temperature are the best options. So I will leave here controller's temperature, and every 10 seconds, I will have flashing this value on my screen. And this is very important too. A lot of people is saying, oh my God, I have a problem because I get this gear icon and it's getting an error. No, what you are getting is on purpose. It's showing that icon to let you know that it's giving you an extra information. And in this case, what you will get every 10 seconds is the temperature. Don't worry. And this is for me one of the most important options, the maximum temperature of the controller to issue an overheat warning. These controllers can take a lot of heat. As you see, the default value is 90 degrees, so I will leave it like that. If you want to feel safer, you can put 70 or 80 degrees. This is up to you, but I will strongly recommend to enable this because especially now in summer, if your controller go over the target temperature, you will get a notification and you will avoid to burn your controller. So please use this option. You leave this diagnosis options by default enabled. And the last one that I really like is the swap main button function. If you have this enabled, with one click of the button, you will swap between the modes, which is very handy when you are riding your scooter, because sometimes the double tap is a little bit annoying. So if you enable this, one tap will swap between modes and two taps will enable the light. Okay, once you have your settings as you like, you only have to click here, make this firmware, you will get the file, and you need to flash the file using this app is the one that you need to use. I leave you the card here so you can see in my previous video how to flash the BLE and how to flash this new XIAOGEN firmware into your scooter using this app. I hope you really enjoyed the video and was helpful for you. All the questions that you've been asking in the past few weeks has been resolved now. Anyway, if you have more questions or more doubts, leave a comment below. I read all the comments and I answer all of them. Just be patient. And also we have this Telegram group. We have actually in different languages where the actual XIAOGEN developers are helping everybody and for free. You want to have the best scooter possible and you need support. You have this channel in exclusive and you have our Telegram group to cover all your needs. Please subscribe, hit the like and the bell so you will get notified next time that I'm uploading a video. Also, I told you before about the big surprise. The XIAOGEN developers, they are working in a whole new system. This is the biggest game changer for the Xiaomi scooters ever. Believe me, what they are doing, that is almost finished, will change how we use our scooter, how we flash our scooter, and we will forget about the BLE problems, the firmware problems. This will give you a complete control for your scooter. This is a game changer and you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned and soon enough you will see what is coming. Believe me, these people is working together with Anonymous and what they are doing is just amazing. I have a little peek on what they are doing and I really can't wait for this to happen. This really is impressive. Soon enough, you will have this information, this video, only in this channel, David Tech. As usual, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. I will be available for the comments and the Telegram group is waiting for you. So feel free to join. I'll leave the link in the description below and see you in the next video. Bye guys.